Hello everyone, welcome back. So sorry about the weird glitch in the video last week. Apparently it just goes blank. The video just kind of disappears for like a minute or two. I tried to re-upload it a couple of times, but the video kept extending beyond the time, and I'm gonna be honest, I am not the best editor, and I know that some of you might be thinking, well, why don't you get better at this before you start trying? Well, because I believe in learning as you go, number one, and number two, you gotta start where you are, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm okay with being really rudimentary right now because, as I said, I make zero money doing this. It's just a hobby, it's just for fun for now. So I'm working on it, but I have a day job and I don't have a lot of money to throw around here. So today I thought I would talk about an older local true crime story. So today's story is the story of the Hotel Emma, the scandalous history of the Hotel Emma and the three Emmas, the tale of the three Emmas, if you will. And I wanted to do this story because the last one that I talked about was kind of a little bit raw, a little bit fresh, and super close to home. So I had a lot of feelings about it. As usual, I will be creating a piece of calligraphy artwork as I'm telling the story, which may or may not have anything at all to do with the story. It's just me combining two things that I'm interested in for funsies. And as I said, I'm from San Antonio. For those of you who aren't familiar, it's the second largest city in Texas. For clarification purposes, yes, there are ranches and cows and horses in rural parts of Texas. We don't have a whole lot of those here in the city. We do have some interesting things and some less interesting, but nevertheless historical things, such as the Alamo. You may have heard of it. Tourism is actually a thing here, and one place I highly recommend that you visit if you ever come to San Antonio is the Pearl Brewery area, because it's a really popular place for food, drinks, and cool things to look at. It's a really beautiful place, beautiful part of town. Some noteworthy sights to see in the area, once COVID is behind us anyway, include, like I said, the Pearl Brewery, the Museum Reach section of the San Antonio River Walk. You can enjoy a bite at one of the Pearl area restaurants, take a self-guided tour of the Hotel Emma, and visit the Pearl Farmers Market, which is usually held on weekend mornings. It used to be one of my favorite things to do, actually, with my husband when pre-COVID. Honestly, my husband and I don't do anything. We're very, very paranoid. I'm a kind of a high-risk person for getting COVID, and he's just kind of a hypochondriac, so we really don't go anywhere. So I haven't been on to one of these in so long, so I really miss the Pearl. So doing this story was actually really fun for me because I got to revisit pictures of the Pearl anyway. The Pearl Brewery is an area of town that was originally founded in 1883. Back then it was called the City Brewery. In this time period, of course, cities did have more horses because we didn't have cars then, so they built a stable near the brewery for distribution purposes. The stables are now used as a venue for weddings and other events, and we actually briefly considered them for our wedding. They called the beer they brewed Pearl, and soon after, in 1902, a man named Otto Kaler took over the brewery and helped spur the business from a microbrewery to a nationally recognized brew. Otto was born April 28, 1855 in Germany and immigrated to San Antonio with his wife Emma in 1884. They were already wealthy, but building up the brewery brought in an even greater amount of wealth for the couple. But you know what they say, more money, more problems, am I right? Well, in 1910, Emma Kaler was injured in an auto accident, and I guess that they felt she needed a nurse to help her recover. So Otto hired Emma Dumpke, a shockingly young and attractive brown-haired nurse. Possibly to avoid confusion, they nicknamed the nurse Emma Emmy, because remember, the wife's name is Emma, and again, shockingly, Otto and Emmy soon began to have an affair. Scandalous. Ah, but wait, there's more. So then, at some point, Emmy introduced Otto to her friend, who, you guessed it, was also named Emma. Emma Hedda Bergmeister, who is also often called Hedda in articles. Again, I'm guessing to avoid confusion because holy crap, y'all, there were 3 Emmas in this situation. Hedda Emma was taller, blonde, and in her 30s, but she was also a nurse, which is possibly how she and Emmy knew one another. So now Otto's in a double affair. I don't know for sure if it was like a menage a trois situation with Emmy and Hedda, but regardless, there's a whole lot of women for this one dude, you know what I mean? Anyway, as you may have assumed, things were not all well in paradise in this crazy love affair. Otto apparently set up the other 2 Emmas, not his wife, with a house on the south side of town, and was even giving them each some spending money every month. Maybe it was the discrepancy in the payments, since Emma 2, also known as Emmy, was receiving $125 a month, while Emma 3, Hedda, was only receiving $50 a month. The deed was in both of their names, but tensions were still high when Otto arrived at their house one day, as he often did to visit, and other things. Wink a wink. So on this particular day, November 4th, 1914, an argument broke out, and Emma 3/Hedda shot and killed Otto. I'm guessing she was hecka angry because she shot him multiple times in the head, neck, and face, so he was definitely dead, no question. So here is where it gets even more interesting, as if it's not already interesting enough with all the scandal, right? Emma 3 was charged with the murder, but somehow she managed to flee to Europe to help out as a nurse in World War I. She just goes, I'm gonna go help out in World War I, bye. Just leaves. Like, I don't understand. Like, how can you do that, right? Like, you're being charged with murder, and you're like, yeah, but the war, and they're just like, okay, fine, go ahead. I don't know. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of details about that, but I have questions. So she leaves. She goes to help out in World War I. Years later, she actually came back to San Antonio and was tried for the crime and was found not guilty by an all-male jury. I mean, wow. Like, I don't even know. So Hedda Emma, or Emma 3, claimed in her trial to have killed Otto in self-defense and to protect the honor of her friend Emmy. Whatever that means. Protect her honor. I don't know. What does that mean? I mean, she's already having sex with this dude, right? I don't know. She apparently wore dark clothing and a veil covering her face, and perhaps her appearance made her come off as sympathetic or something. I don't even know. Now get this. Later, Emma 3 moved to New Orleans and married one of the jurors. I mean, crazy, y'all. The twists and turns in this story. Craziness. So fast forward to modern day, the Hotel Emma now stands in the Pearl Brewery area and is well known and famous for its sordid history as well as its beauty. Inside of the lobby, there is a bar where you can order a drink called the 3 Emmas, made of pearl beer, rose cordial, Amontillado sherry, botanist gin, grapefruit, and lemon juice, according to the bar's menu. When the hotel opened, marketing director Beth Smith remarked about the drink, "1 is great and 3'll kill ya." I don't know, I love a good, I don't know, is that really a pun? I don't know, I love a good, word play. Anyway, so what happened to the other 2 Emmas, you ask? Well, Emmy, or Emma 2, married and just kind of fell under the radar. And Emma 1, Otto's wife, went on to take over the brewery and stayed very successful, even through Prohibition, when she managed to not let even 1 employee go. And she sustained the business by bottling water and juices. Then, during the Depression, the Great Depression, she invested $1 million of her own money into the brewery and managed to keep it afloat during that time as well. This business flourished even after her death in The business continued to flourish even after her death in 1943. So what can we learn from this? Well, I said I want to honor the victim and not glorify the perpetrator. But in this story, I'm going to honor the victim and his poor wife. In my opinion, Otto was kind of a bad husband. He was not the best at being a married person, in my opinion. But his contributions to my beautiful city cannot be denied. As I said earlier, the Pearl is one of my absolute favorite parts of the city to visit, and due to COVID, I haven't been there in quite some time, so I look forward to the day when I can visit safely again. Another fascinating contribution that he provided to the city is in his legacy. His son, also named Otto, and his wife Marcia lived in a mansion that is now called the Kaler House, which was gifted to the San Antonio College, which is a community college where I attended before I went to university, which now serves as yet another event venue that I also considered for my wedding. It also houses the ceramics, art metals, and the jewelry designs of the Visual Arts and Technology Department, and is used as a conference and meeting center. So his existence and his legacy had quite an impact on my city, even if he was kind of an adulterous butthead. As for Emma 1, honestly, I think she was a total badass. The hotel Emma was named for her, and in my opinion, she totally earned that. Of course, we never know anyone's full story, so I certainly hope that we don't find out she was like a Nazi sympathizer or something someday, but regardless, I think this story is super fascinating, and I really am impressed by her ability to keep a business going like she did during Prohibition and during the Great Depression, and being able to, just do all that on her own after her husband died is pretty dang cool. So, I hope you guys all have a great weekend as I'm posting this on a Friday. Remember to live well, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll see you next time. Bye!